Reason number 2 why we should memorize stuff, especially Scripture. The simple act of memorization sharpens our thinking and deepens our faith. It sharpens our thinking and it deepens our faith. And this point, how many of you want to be a sharper thinker? Or do you want to be a Neanderthal? Then this should be of importance to you. A writer named Nicholas Carr, in a great book called The Shallows, What the Internet is Doing to Our Brains. The book's been around a while, but it's very insightful. Carr points out that memorization was a key part of classical education since the Renaissance. Memorizing things. How many of you ever memorized Latin or something like that? You know, that's a classical model of education that goes back for centuries. The ancient Greeks worshiped the goddess of memory called Mnemosyne, who gave birth to the 9 muses, the Greek says, and the 9 muses ruled the study of poetry and dance and history and music and science. Now, strip away the mythology from that, and the Greeks are actually making a profound point. I think what they're saying is that memorizing gives birth to musing, which gives birth to the development of human life and thought like nothing else can. Memory work, in other words, is the cracking of the whip that gets the mind into gear. I put this quote on your note sheet. An 18th century writer named Samuel Johnson said, "Memory is the primary and fundamental power without which there is no other intellectual operation." In his book, Carr goes on to describe how physiologically, through the mere act of committing ourselves to repeating a thought over and over again, we are literally strengthening and expanding our brains. It used to be believed that the brain was a static thing, did not change. Now we know that's completely untrue. That the brain is responding all the time to the things you and I think about. It's pliable. They call it plastic, neuroplasticity. How many of you have heard of that phrase? The idea here is that as you rehearse a thought in your mind, as you go over an image in your mind, as you think about doing something, and you repeat that, the cells of the brain called neurons get all Avengers with you. Neurons assemble, and they come together, and they make the brain stronger in that point. It's like the brain is saying, "Oh, you like doing that. Well, here, let's help you do it easier next time." And your brain literally changes in response to that repeated thinking. Now, that's good news. If you're learning a language, learning an instrument, memorizing Scripture, that's a good thing. But it's also bad news. What if you're rehearsing over and over again in your mind? Somebody hurting you. What if you're rehearsing over and over in your mind? Jealousy. What if you're looking at pornography? The brain says, "Oh, you like thinking about that. Here, let me help you do it better next time." And that's how sin addictions happen. But the good news is, that's also how sin addictions can get broken. When the Lord talks in the Bible about renewing our minds, Romans 12:2 says we're to be renewed in the spirit of our minds. It's speaking quite literally. When Paul says in Corinthians that we're to take captive our thoughts, I love that image. You know, a thought flits into our brain. We are supposed to say, "Who goes there?" Yeah? Paul means it literally. We can take those thoughts captive with the Lord's help. It's not easy, but with the Lord's grace, you can change the direction of your thoughts. Memory work deepens your thinking.